Hello, and so today I'd like to invite you to a 25-minute lightly guided sit. And when I say lightly guided, I'm hoping that by going through this one or two times, it's kind of like what we do when we meditate. We go through the mind to get beyond it, that you actually find you no longer need it. Because the guidance I'm sharing for this meditation is very, very basic. You'll find probably that you come up with your own custom fit imaginations that help you lock into the focus that you need for it. And this is just serving two purposes: to give you some ideas to jump off of, and also to give you a clear idea of what 25 minutes of sitting is like. I'm also going to provide what I've found over the years to be the most important rules, guidelines, to getting to a state of focus that's beneficial. One of the guidelines is to sit on something if you're not yet able to sit on your sit bones with your knees down. And so it took me a couple of years sitting on a cushion that was the same size as this. So I would sit like this. And before that, I sat on a block. So you can sit on a cushion. And as you can see, if you sit on a cushion, your knees come further down and your pelvis is elevated. Why? If you're not able to sit on the floor with your knees down, your pelvis is going to do something like this. It's going to want to roll back, and you're going to end up needing to use a lot of effort to hold yourself up, and you're also going to start experiencing pain as the hips relax. And so for a sit, you want to be seated in a way that you are as effortlessly seated as possible, first, and second, where your pelvis has this freedom to move. So even sitting like this, you can move the pelvis. If you can't move the pelvis itself, this is just the pelvis where my hands are, you can take a block and you can see from the side a lot clearer why this is important. And then the knees come down and you have all of this ability to move. And while you sit, you're going to want to, which brings to the second point, you want to be sitting really still and relaxed, but at the same time diligently aware of the way that the pelvis is positioned in space. Because even if you're sitting here, you can tell when your mind is just way out in Jupiter by the fact that your pelvis will just do this little thing like this. And then everything kind of comes down. And if you're sitting and you catch yourself like that, no problem, just come back. Come back physically and come back mentally to the present moment. Hold yourself in this present moment during the sit, with the spine as long and free and relaxed on its own natural shape as possible. This is the foundation. And then two other things. So we might think that meditation is achieving some goal. It's actually a process. It's exactly like asana in a way, in that you're working with the mind consistently through the 25 minutes to observe the actions of the mind and draw the actions back toward the breath alone. And there can even become a point where the breath stops or becomes so small that you're just suspended there. And your mind is resting inside of this suspended nature of the breath. And lots of different sensations can come up, and it's very unique to everyone, but those are not the focus. The focus is actually just to become as still and present as possible. And this brings me to the last point. So we do have achievement-oriented minds, and I would say the one thing to achieve with this is to be as still as possible for 25 minutes. This is the most important thing, because the stillness of the physical body begins to penetrate into the mental body, the mental state. And then you start to relax obviously your breathing, your nervous system, everything is relaxing, and then you're moving into an increasingly meditative state. And so it's very, very simple. And I use Insight Timer, an app. And what I'm going to do is take us through with the regular 25-minute sit that I have programmed in here. And in this sit, what I like about it is I've put intervals. So there's a bell at the beginning, and then every 5 minutes there's a little chime. And it's kind of dual purpose. First, the ego, the mind, will try to, if you're sitting in one big 25-minute block, the ego might say, well, is the timer working? Is it even on? And then you'll look down at the timer. It's better if you can keep your eyes closed all 25 minutes. And so to have this 25-minute, 5-minute interval timer helps, because the second thing that it does is it chimes you back into the present moment. And it's a free app on I think Android and iPhone. It's quite popular. Insight Timer. And we are lucky today with this video that we have a band playing outside, because I'm going to be inviting you to allow every sound around you to be part of the present moment and to be a gift that gives you the present moment, not clinging on to what they mean to you, but being present with them. Okay? And then drawing your attention, of course, back into the breath. So we will begin. And every interval, I will say a couple of words just to give some guidance. So finding your seat, closing your eyes, connect with your sit bones, lift the crown of the head, feel the heart lift, the shoulders relaxed. Bring your hands into a position that you like. And we begin. Sitting still here, imagine yourself sitting inside of a circular, cylindrical container. And on the outside, you're separated by glass from the ocean. So you're sitting in the ocean, but you're inside of an air cylinder, inside of an air column. And you're very comfortable. And all of the activity in the ocean around you is outside the glass. This is your thinking. This is the external world. And your inner world is the cylinder. Draw focus to the insides of your nostrils. Feel the breath run into the sinuses, down into the lungs, and just watch the breath. We have the perfect metaphor around us in this recorded class. Just like the glass container I asked you to imagine that you're sitting in the middle of the ocean. You can imagine you're sitting in this studio. And on the outside, there's a band playing. And you're pulling your focus deeper within. You're able to pull your focus on your breath. And whenever you have mental reactions to what's going on, you just note them and you just release them. And draw more and more focus onto the breath. Any thoughts that come up, just imagine saying, thank you. And just let them go. That's a thought. And let go. Make your prime focus your breath. Turn again and again toward the breath, no matter how small it becomes. Check in with your seat. Check to see that your pelvis hasn't slipped back and is still in a neutral position. So you're still and you're relaxed, but you're still, in a way, applying a little bit of effort in your base so that you can be free and lift all the way up through the crown of the head. Thoughts will come, noises will come and go. Find the space between the thoughts, the space between the noise, and continue over and over to draw your attention toward your breath. By now, the mind might be overwhelming with what it wants you to pay attention to. Might be hard to collect your focus, but continue to collect your focus. Focus on the breath. Draw your focus down to the navel to feel from within the very subtle movement of the diaphragm as the smaller and smaller bits of air are exchanged as you relax more and more. Every time you find yourself thinking, imagine backing away from that thought and turning back toward your breath. It's very simple, and you have the power at any moment to do it. Let the thought go, return your focus. Stay as still as possible. stillness penetrate your mind. Enjoy the space in your mind. Nice to take a moment after a 25-minute set to just reflect on the quality of it, some of the challenges that might have come up. But especially to reflect on all of the times you were able to direct the mind and redirect the mind, and celebrate those times. And as you do this more and more often, and even make it a daily practice, my hope for you is that it gives the same thing to you as it gives to me. And that is a bigger gap between external stimulus or even my own thinking and my reaction to that thinking or stimulus. To the point where in many more situations now, I'm able to respond instead of react out of old patterns. And this is due to actual neurochemical changes that happen in the brain through a regular seated practice like this. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. And may our actions, my actions, your actions, in some way contribute to that happiness and freedom in others, including also ourselves. Thank you.